Assalamu alaikum and welcome to Sports Extra. I'm your host Ahmed Nawaz with the latest roundup of sports today. Let's take a look at what we're discussing. First of all, the West Indies have beaten Pakistan in the second test match and have completed the series as a draw. This is of course the last test match for Pakistan and the West Indies when you talk about the test calendar, and Pakistan unfortunately finishes last on the championship points table of the WTC for this season. A disappointment for Pakistani cricket fans, especially those in Multan who were there to witness Pakistan, and I think our loss clearly goes back to the first innings when Pakistan had the West Indies by the neck 50 for 8, and then they let them score, and then they couldn't even complete that lead in the first innings. But it's been utterly disappointing. There's been a lot of criticism thrown on Shan Masood once again. Now the next test match of course has got a couple of months to it, more than 6 months till the next test match and the next cycle begins, and I think there's going to be a lot said about Pakistan and the changes that would be seen there as well. And I think our plan of developing those spin tracks, it was about time when a quality side comes with a better spinner and bamboozles you, and that's what we saw as well. So we'll talk about that, then we move on and we discuss some more particular things on sports. Sinner overcame Alexander Zverev to once again be crowned the champions, and Zverev had something very interesting to say. He said that Sinner looks like the prime Novak these days. So I think that was a great comment there as well. So we'll discuss that in the second segment. Time now to introduce the guest. First of all, joining us in studios is our sports expert, cricket commentator, international broadcaster and presenter, Asif Ahmed. Assalamu alaikum, how are you?
Walaikum assalam, Ahmed. I'm very well, thank you.
Thank you for joining us. We've also been joined by sports expert and fellow anchor, Sayyid Mohammad Awais. Assalamu alaikum, how are you?
Walaikum assalam, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you for joining us. Now, of course, let's take a look at this report and then we continue the discussion.
Premier bowler in your lineup. That's done. West Indies win after 34 years in Pakistan.
West Indies defeated Pakistan by 120 runs on day 3 in Multan to draw the series by 1 each. Warrican finished with 9 wickets in the match, 19 in the series, to give the host a taste of their own medicine on spin-friendly pitches. The last time the West Indies won a test in Pakistan was in Faisalabad in November 1990, having gone winless on their 1997 and 2006 tours. Chasing 254 runs, Pakistan were bundled out for 133 runs. Resuming on 76 for 4 on day 3, Pakistan's hopes of victory rested on Saud Shakil, but Sinclair had the left-hander caught in the slip for 13 runs. Babar Azam top scored with 31 while Mohammad Rizwan made 25 runs. Rizwan added 39 for the 7th wicket with Salman Ali Agha before Warrican dismissed Salman leg before for 15 and bowled Rizwan to bring the tourist within the 2 wickets of victory. Modi, who took 2 wickets, removed Numan Ali for 6, while Warrican deservedly took the last wicket, bowling Sajid Khan for 7 to seal the victory. Jomal Warrican declared player of the match and series. The defeat sent Pakistan crashing to 9th and the last in the World Test Championship table, while the West Indies finished 8th.
Well, there you have it. Sabah gives us the details of Pakistan's loss in the second test match against the West Indies. Of course, I think a lot of things would be put into perspective. Asif Ahmed, how would you like to define this loss for Pakistan?
Well, I think that, of course, when we talk about the captaincy of Pakistan, when we talk about the skipper of Pakistan, everybody's talking about his performances. First of all, this is shameful defeat. And I watched his presser that he was a bit angry in the press conferences when the journalist asked him that would you turn down yourself or will you wait for the decision from the Pakistan Cricket Board. I think that these kind of questions definitely will be asked when you're losing, and especially when you're losing at your home soil and you're losing the test team like against West Indies. If you see the West Indies side over the paper, looks a very, very normal side. It's not the extraordinary player. They are not traveling with this. They were not traveling with the side. Now coming towards your question that if you ask me, that Babar Azam definitely is the responsible. Babar Azam should have taken some responsibility. If you see his shot after making 31 runs, that was a very ordinary stuff from Babar Azam. Rest Pakistani batters, they were struggling against the spinners. Shan Masood, skipper, said that we want these kind of surfaces in domestic cricket as well. But you're talking about the future. Give us an answer. You lost against Bangladesh, you lost against South Africa, now you lost against West Indies. Now we'll take the responsibility. when we will ask this question, please don't mind it.
Well, we'll ask this question from Syed Mohammad Awais. Who will take responsibility?
Asif. See, I mean, I would obviously agree with Asif, because when you don't have a performance, and especially when the team isn't performing and individually you're not performing, so definitely there would be some hard questions, but it's unfortunate that I personally feel so. The question which was actually asked on that time, when obviously when your team has lost and you're literally down, that was not the right time to ask this kind of questions over there. But it's unfortunate. But if you talk about the Pakistan team, see, before this test series started on, I was in a strong belief that, see, you guys are preparing a spin track over here. That's a short-term plan. It's not a long-term plan. And it won't work long-term once you lose the toss and you have to opt to bat against them. And it's definitely that your team would be exposed. And that's what happened in the second test match. Your batting literally collapsed. I mean, Pakistan has got a history of getting collapsed in the third and fourth innings. That you just saw that the way Pakistani batsmen, especially talk about Shan Masood, talk about the senior players. I'm talking about Babar Azam. He looked confused while playing that shot, especially when you talk about Kamran Ghulam, the way he played that shot. That was no need of at the moment that time. Even Rizwan, I would say, because he had to stand for a long period of time. Pakistan really needs to focus on test cricket. When you talk about test cricket, it's unfortunate this kind of scenario, especially the wickets what you're preparing right now. Many of them are saying that for Pakistan now it should be a just 3-day test match, because it hardly lasts till the 4-day, the wickets we are preparing. Because you have to play test match after 9 months of gap against Bangladesh in Bangladesh. It won't be easy for Pakistan. The Pakistan test squad really needs to think about it, and they need to just change the test squad. I would say many players now need to get rest. The guys who are performing well in the domestic structure for 4-day cricket, I would say they need to be preferred for the test cricket, and especially again, Pakistan needs to be, I mean, you need to change your wickets. I mean, it just can't be one direction wickets. At least change the mode of game. I mean, because what you're doing, it's not good for international cricket.
Well, certainly, but Awais, I think the bigger question does arise, and you had, raised your objections, and your point was very clear about the kind of pitches that they won't help Pakistan cricket. Now, the problem is that, in order to give strength to our spinners, it was only time when somebody with a quality spin would realize that, okay, to win against Pakistan, you just need to take quality spinners, because their batsmen are more technically weak than us when you talk about spin tracks.
I mean, Ahmed bhai, that's the problem. I mean, because when we were discussing in off-air, me and Asif bhai, when you talk about the Pakistan batting, I mean, the biggest issue is that, see, fine, it's a spinning track, your spinners are dominating over here. But again, there's other plan. You just realize that your batsmen are not performing. They're weak against spin. So how can you say that these wickets are suitable to the Pakistan team? If we talk about the domestic structure, what we have been discussing, that there are 4-day cricketers who are performing well. When you talk about the Terawik, especially, I would say even your batsmen, if you speak about them, who play longer formats, looking at this kind of wicket, definitely that comes in your mind that, okay, fine, as a fast bowler, I don't see my future now in test cricket, because the way Pakistan is preparing pitches, it's actually, I would say, a test for a fast bowler. Kashif, he was a brilliant debut. He took 1 wicket, but unfortunately, again, I would say there were no longer spells from him. He has been bowling perfectly, brilliantly in the domestic structure with longer spells, but in domestic, you have got green top wickets. When you talk about the international levels, you got the turning tracks over there. There's no simplicity in Pakistan cricket. That needs to change on, because if you talk about the players who are coming for test cricket of Pakistan, when they look at this kind of wicket, definitely they think in their mind what's going on. Should we prefer test cricket or not? Because unfortunately, Pakistan plays less test cricket as compared to the other teams like Australia, England. They have got 5 test matches series, 4 test match series. When did we play last even 3 test match series? The 4 test match series, I would say. It has been a long period of time. I mean, Pakistan needs to change that. The FTP guys who are actually in consultation with the ICC, they really need to think about it.
Well, it's not just about that. Right now, if you look at Pakistan's last calendar, which has just been completed, so you played 12 test matches and I think lost 9. So if you're increasing the number of played test matches to 20, you're going to lose what, 17? So it's not going to work until, we get our own house in order as well. And the fact about asking questions and everything, and I understand that you could better rephrase the question, but the fact is that I think before this in Pakistan, Asif, there exists no example of a gentleman who's been given so many chances in test cricket with an average of below 40 and
even below 30.
Below 30, and eventually made captain just to make sure that he stays in the side.
Yes, I think this is really shameful, and whoever taken this decision, Pakistan Cricket Board is responsible for that. See, Ahmed, the problem is that when we go for the short-term policies or short-term plannings, we cannot bring good results. And whoever said that right before the show, as you were talking about, that whoever said that make these kind of surfaces and take results. Yes, you have taken results. You have won 3 matches, but you lost against a very, very ordinary side. That is West Indies. We lost against Bangladesh. We're not talking about the reason why we lost. Against Bangladesh, 26-6, Pakistan lost. Against West Indies 58-8, Pakistan lost. In South Africa, 98-8, Pakistan lost. Then the reason is why? The reason is that you cannot, you're not bringing some extraordinary decisions when you're not taking good wickets. You're not thinking out of the box. And that's the problem with Shan Masood, that he is a very, very ordinary guy when we talk about his leading skills, when we talk about his leadership. You cannot see better results. So that's why the first thing is, that was a very genuine question, that either you will decide yourself or you will wait that PCB will decide, as they have decided about Sarfaraz and some other captains. So I think that was a very genuine question. If you cannot bring the result, tell the management that I'm not okay with the captaincy. And if you're not as a captain, how you will gonna participate in the playing 11? Then you're talking about that, don't watch Cricinfo, don't see Google, don't see stats. Dear, these stats are speaking about your performances.
But Asif, it brings me back to your question as well, because right now Saeed Mohammad Awais said that, this was probably not the right time to ask a question. When Pakistan was winning, we asked this question about his performance. He said it's negativity. Now Pakistan is losing and he's the skipper, at the same time he's not performing. Then once again it's the wrong time to ask a question.
So I think that you should ask this question to Awais. What could be the best time? What could be the best time to ask this question? Yes, Awais.
Asif, you rightly pointed up. Why am I saying that? Because once, it's unfortunate. I told you, I'm not in favor of this wickets, what Pakistan even was winning on this wickets. The issue is that once when you lose as a captain, when your team isn't performing, it's just not it. It is from a couple of months, I would say, your team isn't performing well. Many things as a captain goes in your mind, because I told you, even a captain, when he's sitting in a team meeting, he does not speak much, because he knows well that as an individual, my performance is nil. What would I speak in a team meeting, because the confidence is just shattered? That was not the right time to actually ask that kind of question. I know it is, because questions will come, backfires will be there. Other than that, whatever happened in that question, even I say that Shan Masood, I don't know whether he will continue as a captain or not. Even I have that in my mind, but I'm saying that time wasn't good.
Yes,
because you know why? Because
this is what I'm requesting to you. What could be the best time to ask this question? You tell me.
Right before the PSL. Right on PSL day.
Awais, see that when you lost the match, you came for the press conference. Several people are sitting there. They will ask their questions. That is you, that you will respond positively. See, I'm not saying that the journalist, he asked in a very humble way. He said that we, in the first World Test Championship, we finished on number 6. In the second, we finished on number 7. Now we finished on number 8. So definitely we'll ask this question to you. What's happening? In your captaincy, Pakistan is losing against a side which is a very low standard side. Why don't you talk about the batting of West Indies? Only Warrican was the worry. This is what I had said right before this test match, because we were live on Friday. So in 3 days, yes, you rightly pointed out that these kind of surfaces, the matches are finishing in 3 days. So the question is that if you're not asking this question right now, so what could be the best time?
I just want to answer that. Remember, Ahmed bhai, once when everyone started to praise that Akib ball, and I told you once, I remember that, and I said, so when the result goes against you, the problem will be, coach won't be answerable for that. The captain would be, because he's leading from the front. But if you see from the back door, I'm not praising Shan Masood's captaincy. There are many flaws. But what I mean to say is that even for Rizwan, I would say, when you enter the back door, a captain does not have the power to select the team. Whatever team is given, it's from the selection committee. That's the team, and you need to implement it and get the playing 11 for the squad. And even in the playing 11, I would say, captain has nothing to do with it. It's the coach, it's the selection committee who's actually doing it.
Absolutely. I'm just going to echo, because I know what Asif is going to say. Asif, I'll let you say it, but I'm sure what Asif is going to say, then you should resign if your hands are tied. Simple as that.
I'm saying that.
There is no power in your hand.
No,
then let
that's
it go.
the thing. That's the thing I was going to say. I mean, see, that's the thing I was going to say. It's unfortunate, because as a coach, we need to realize one thing. Even the Pakistan Cricket Board, that coach has the stuff outside the main arena. I mean, he's there to fix the team. He's there to get you the squad.
I think let's keep it simple, Awais. Awais, for you, Pakistan's next test campaign is against Bangladesh. The team travels there more than 6 months' time till that campaign. Shan Masood, skipper, yes or no? Shan Masood as a player in the side, yes or no? Simple as that.
See, as a skipper, no, and as a player, no. Again, I would say that because looking at his individual performance, I said, I mean, he has many problems. I mean, because as a captain, obviously, you feel from his face, like I told you on that day, because I was even confused when you're leaking runs, whenever it's going against your bowlers. You have got a white ball cricket captain with you. You have got an ex-captain with you. There's nothing you can just consult with them what's going on but he looks strange in the field. I mean, what's going on? The mindset just stops on when you look at his face, what's going on with Shan Masood. The issue for me is that I know he has performed really well in the county circuit, but that's a different track for me. This is the turning track. I mean, he hasn't been able to perform, just not here, even in South Africa, even in Australia. He hasn't been consistently well for Pakistan. So that's why I say there are some pressure situation going on. He needs to have a rest over here. 9 months after, 8.5 months, I would say, you are going to play in Bangladesh. Bangladesh red ball cricket has really improved well, because I know that's a spinning track. The players have really improved well in Bangladesh. White ball cricket, they're still struggling. But it won't be easy for Pakistan. But Pakistan really needs to think about even the middle order too. Even Babar Azam really needs to think about the selection committee. Whether do you see him in the future test arena of Pakistan or not, because the position where he's playing right now, it's one of the key positions and he has been consistently not playing well. Many of them say that Kamran Ghulam needs to play at one-down position because he's played all his life in domestic cricket at one-down position, but the middle order is the biggest issue for me.
Asif, it's one of those situations where, you know, Henry David once said that any fool can make a rule and any fool will mind it. So we're still, you know, I think I agree with the West that Shan Masood doesn't deserve a place in the test side right now, not as a skipper, not as a player. And our next campaign until Bangladesh, before that we have no test cricket. So how are we going to make decisions on who will be part of the test side and who will not be part of the test side?
It's a very simple that you will see the stats, and I'm not saying that just follow the crick info. You will see the stat that what happened in South Africa, why we lost against Bangladesh, and why we lost against West Indies. You will get answers that whoever played well and whoever performed well and who was performing, who was not performing well. I think Babar Azam, yes, it's a big question mark. And then of course that I'm not criticizing on Kamran Ghulam right now, but he should think that what's going on there. This is international cricket. We don't accept your excuses, because when you are in international side, when you are there, when you are playing, you're playing for Pakistan.
Asif, allow me to be a bit shrewd on this. More than Shan Masood, I'm absolutely angry on Kamran Ghulam.
Yes,
the reason is on this very platform, we have advocated Kamran Ghulam, Kamran Ghulam, Kamran Ghulam. We have stood for him against everything. We have made sure that he comes to the side. And, you know, ever since his debut into the test side, all I've seen is a man who's... Look, why do I like Saud Shakib? Even though he fails. Because the guy is only focused on the cricket he's playing. Kamran Ghulam instantly comes and debuts and plays and scores 100. And you're seeing these are very sorry words, but style, behaving like Steve Smith, you know, absolutely foolish gestures. You focus on cricket, which you're bound to play.
And you see the result when you're not focusing on your cricket, when you're focusing on other things, when you're focusing on social media, when you're talking about your style, when you're talking about some other style, it happens that you're not concentrating on your game. And I strongly agree with your words that in international cricket, no excuse here. You would have to perform well. This is Pakistan cricket team. This is not franchise cricket. You would have to be responsible, and people will ask you that what's going on. And yes, we have advocated him. We have talked a lot about his performances, about his domestic performances. That was genuinely, we were praising his performances in first-class cricket. But now, definitely we'll ask this question, Kamran Ghulam.
I mean, imagine in the 80s, Asif, players saying that we're not going to play cricket because it's the mighty West Indies, we don't have a helmet and it's all green tracks. Imagine that.
Ahmed, you're talking about 80s. Let's talk about the recent Border Gavaskar Trophy. What happened in the last 10s? Rohit Sharma wasn't performing well. He went to the management, and you know that the people have started talking that he has resigned from the test cricket. No, he went to the management and he said that I'm not performing well, I'm not okay, I'm not taking good decisions, please give me some rest. So he rested. Jasprit Bumrah was the skipper. Doesn't matter what the results are. He has taken that decision. He was brave enough.
And where is he right now? He's playing the Ranji Trophy.
Yes, that's the point. And as Avas was referring about Shan Masood's performances in county cricket, rightly said that the conditions are different, these teams are different. This is international cricket, huge difference between county and international cricket. And that's why Shan Masood is under immense pressure. He's not taking good decisions. His batting is under pressure. So I think this is the best time Shan Masood should go to the management and tell them that, please give me some rest. I'm not saying that resign from the test cricket. Go to the first class cricket, take some time and take some break from international cricket and play in first class cricket, come back, bounce back. We're with you. We are not against you, dear. But the way you're leading Pakistan side, the way you're performing for the Pakistan, these are not good signs for the development of test cricket in Pakistan. This is the problem. You know that now people are talking about that what's going on in the Pakistan cricket. Even we're losing against Bangladesh, we are losing against West Indies. That who's responsible? Yes, the captains comes first and then the coach.
Well, certainly. And I think all of these performances, West, now really need to be scrutinized. It's not just the names anymore. We're seeing Babar Azam struggle. We're seeing Shan Masood struggling. We're seeing Saud Shakil struggling. Rizwan throwing his wicket away at a very crucial point. These decisions will matter, but like I said, you know, our indicators will be messed up because we have no cricket to gauge these players before the next test series.
That's an issue. I mean, because see, even I'm sitting up here and saying that there's a 4-day cricket, you need to focus more on it. I mean, you need to find some players who can play test cricket. They need to be treated specially. But the biggest issue is that when you see test cricket, you're going to be playing after 7 to 8 years, after 8.5 months. It's a long period of time, Ahmed Bhai. Then secondly, the biggest issue is that when you talk about test cricket cycle, Ahmed Bhai, you're just going to play 2 test matches series against, if I'm not wrong, just against England, I guess you're going to be playing 3 test match series. So the youngster coming up as from the domestic structure, who is name tagged as a next test cricketer of Pakistan, has that in his mind that when am I going to be playing the next test series? I mean, it's a long period of time. He needs to look after his fitness, he needs to look after his finances, but because of that long patch, he diverts to the T20 cricket, he diverts to the other cricket, I mean, going on, because if you even check out the domestic cricket circle right now, you have got so much, I would say, limited over cricket in this year that calendar just revolves on. So that's a diversion plan for a youngster coming up. So Pakistan really needs to think about it. The FTP cycle, what you make for the foreign tour plans, I mean, of Pakistan, with the ICC, they really need to think, if you want to save the test cricket, you need to have more test matches in Pakistan. The biggest, I remember, could have been a brilliant idea, because ICC tried their level best to save the test matches by gauging it to the day-night test match. You had so much crowd over here. It could have been done in Pakistan, even in Pindi, when England was here to play that. You could have made some improvisation. So Pakistan cricket really needs to think about it, because I know Champions Trophy is on the way. Then you got the Asia Cup T20 coming up. So everyone will have an eye on that. But if you want to have that proper test side of your team, you need to have that test cricketer, the thinking mind, but more cricket for them.
Absolutely. And you know, just that being said, the ICC Men's Test Cricketer of the Year is Jasprit Bumrah. So there you go, Asif. That tells us a lot about priorities in the world.
Yes, when you're focusing on test cricket, that your priority is test cricket, you're performing for your nation, you don't talk about the franchise cricket, you don't go and you don't just run behind the money. These are the results that he is the Test Cricketer of the Year, that he has performed so well. Though he went when the injuries as well, but he didn't lose his confidence, and he was so well with his captaincy when we saw him when he was leading the side in the Border Gavaskar Trophy in the first test, and even in if you see the last 2-3 years, the way he's performing for the India, I think it's remarkable. So hats off to Jasprit Bumrah. You got a fan in Sports Extra's team.
Well, I think a lot of fans, not just in this team, but a lot of fans. And I think it's all just about focus as well. So, yeah, a signed jersey. Yeah. But thank you very much, Asif and Awais, for joining us. On that note, we of course go towards a short break. When we come back, we have more. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Sports Extra, and now we discuss the fantastic Australian Open where the champions have been crowned. And to discuss it further in studios, we've been joined by our sports expert Ali Mehdi. Assalamu alaikum. How are you, Ali?
Walaikum salam, I'm very well.
Thank you for joining us. Now, of course, let's take a look at this report and then we continue.
Such an event. Sinner's triumph is a major achievement for both him and Italian tennis, and it sets the stage for more success in his career.
Well, there you have it. Sabah gives us the details of Yannick Sinner's tremendous victory to be crowned the Australian Open champion. In 15 years becomes the man who has won it now multiple times. But more than that, Ali Mehdi, his opponent, Zverev, had something very interesting to say. He said playing Sinner felt like you're playing the prime Novak.
No, I completely agree. Look, I want to start off by saying that my heart actually bleeds for Alexander Zverev, because I really thought that this was the moment for Alexander Zverev. Alexander Zverev, who's now 27, reached the pinnacle of his life. This was his great opportunity. You discussed it on Friday's show that he got very lucky that he didn't have to play. He played a tired and injured Novak Djokovic. He got plenty of time, and this was his prime opportunity. But look, he came against one of the best players, especially of this decade, a prime Yannick Sinner, a player who's playing extremely efficient, who's hitting the ball very cleanly, who's barely making any mistakes, and was too good on the day. I mean, seeing Alexander Zverev, sob and, be despondent was very, very sad, because the fact of the matter is this is one player who I thought was one of the best next-gen players. He's won multiple Masters 1000 titles, Ahmed. He's won two World Tour finals, but he's not won a Grand Slam. He had his opportunity in 2020 when he made the US Open and the COVID final, in the COVID US Open, and then lost to over there to Dominic Thiem in 5 sets. And then after that, he had an opportunity at Roland Garros, and was winning 2 sets to 1 up, then lost against Carlos Alcaraz. This was his opportunity. But look, Yannick Sinner is the best player in the world. He was the best player by far, and I genuinely feel that on hard court surface in this timeline, I don't think you won't find a player better than him for a long period to come.
Well, certainly, and it's something that you predicted as well, Ali Mehdi, because the fact is the way Yannick Sinner has been playing his tennis clearly gives us an idea that he's clearly there to win Grand Slams.
Look, Yannick Sinner, the thing with him, he has such a strong team. Dan Cahill is over there. Simona Halep's former coach is over there. He's got such a strong physio. And this is a player who's actually been on the upswing. He's been on the high for a while too. Exponentially, he's increased. And ever since he won the Davis Cup in 2023, he's just been absolutely brilliant. Last year, he disposed of Novak Djokovic in the semi-final, won against Medvedev in the final, won his first Australian Open. In the US Open, he destroyed Taylor Fritz, and ever since that, won Cincinnati Masters, won Shanghai Masters, won the World Tour finals, and and there was nobody else, no competition for him, because he's just playing such flawless tennis. And I think people were talking about Carlos Alcaraz and him, but right now, if you're talking about anybody on hard court surface, there's no one even who comes close to Yannick Sinner.
Well, certainly, but congratulations to Sinner. Now, of course, we discussed the women's affair as well. And Ali Mehdi, Madison Keys, what a proud moment for the American.
Look, if there's anybody who deserves most credit, Ahmed, I have to say that, live on air, you deserve the credit, because you were saying it for the past 1 week that if there's any lady who's really going to win this tournament, it's going to be Madison Keys. It didn't make sense to me. It didn't make sense in 2017. In 2015, she made her last semi-final at the Australian Open, and then obviously made the final this time too. But this time, she had a goal in mind. She had such a strong team. Her coach is actually her husband. It's a very lovely story that this, she was the one who proposed to her coach and told her coach that she would like him to marry her, because he was so focused on her career, and that's exactly what they did. And they formed this incredible partnership. I mean, after winning that game against Swiatek, really you thought that she was playing such high level tennis that if she could match that level, she would beat Sabalenka, the 2-time defending Australian Open champion. And that's exactly what she did. She played incredible tennis. She won the clutch points, served extremely well. Even after winning the first set and losing the second, it was just like cat and mouse. But when she got her opportunity, she broke and she won her first Australian Open. And I have to say, after so many years of trying, if there's anybody who deserves it, and a more humble sort of female player, there's no one better than Madison Keys.
I want to take nothing away from Madison Keys, but I must say that her opponent should be utterly disappointed, because this was hers for the taking this Grand
Look, this was for her for taking. Sabalenka rules Melbourne Park, Australia, the Rod Laver Arena. But the fact of the matter over here is, Ahmed, that it really depends on the day who performs very well. We're talking about all sorts of sports, football, NFL, golf, other things. It's on the day who performs well. Madison Keys was very hungry that day. She knew that she's not going to get a better opportunity. This was her second final since she lost against Sloane Stephens in the US Open in 2017. So she knew she had to give everything. And she played such good tennis. She was so focused. And then when she won, you know, it was a moment of relief for her because it was years of trying. And at the prime age of 29, finally, she wins a Grand Slam for herself.
Well, certainly. And I think it's a proud moment. It's something that she will cherish throughout her career as well. Thank you very much, Ali Mehdi, for joining us. Now, of course, before we go, we've got a bunch of birthday wishes to send out. So first of all, we have to say a very happy birthday to Isha Haqqani. A very happy birthday to you, Isha. And from all our team of Sports Extra, with more happiness and joy coming your way. And just over the weekend as well, my very own Meherma had her birthday as well. So very happy birthday to you,
Happy
Meherma.
birthday.
And yes, of course, from all of us, very happy birthday to Meherma and also to Salahuddin as well, who had a joint birthday celebration. So congratulations, kids. And of course, lots of love and lots of prayers for all these birthday wishes that we've sent out. That wraps up Sports Extra. From me and the team, it's goodbye for now.